Hi guys, I'm Mike, and this is another Raid Shadow Legends video. In this video I will be giving a tour of the new free-to-play account that I created for the HellHades challenge that's going on at the moment. I have to say that I'm really enjoying myself. We are already 13 days in now, and it's been a very nice experience. So first I'm gonna give you a small recap of what has been going on, to give you an idea of what I've been up to and why I made certain decisions. Something that's not all too surprising to a lot of you, I think, is that I started out by trying to max out my starter champion, which was HellHades. And to be honest, I was actually not planning on joining this challenge, but when they created the wheels where you could randomize your starter champion and the starter epic, I just had to try it out. And when HellHades, my favorite starter of the set, came out, and also Deacon came out of it, which is in my eyes the best epic that there is available at the moment, I thought I would just give it a try. And for me it was always clear that I wanted to max out HellHades first, because on the main account that I played originally, she actually never let me down. She was a great champion to farm with early on, but even later in the game I still used her a lot as my arena nuker. I replaced her very, very late. She's just very, very strong with her double AoE, I think. I also got a Jamarsa very early on by making referral accounts. And to be honest, I have to say, the free-to-play experience now compared to how it was when I first started playing the game is a lot different. Because when I first started playing, I had an HellHades and I had a Jotun accompanying her, which is absolutely not a great champion to begin with. Here he is. He's not that bad, to be honest, but Deacon is just in a league of his own, and the Jamarsa to accompany them both just makes it very, very easy early on. So something I've been trying to get in order early on is the clan boss team, and at first it's pretty difficult to get any damage done, so it's always a good idea to start building out someone like an outlaw monk, for example, just because he's a very easily attainable source for poisons on the clan boss early on. So I had one of these built out, but recently I pulled a frozen banshee who is just superior in each and every way, and I'm pretty sure that I will be using her until late into the end game, just because she's such a good poisoner. So eventually he got fed into another champion. And 13 days in, we can now one-key the normal clan boss, like you can see here. We one-keyed it with this team, and we are capable of 4-keying hard. I do have to mention that if I want to get a 4-key, I have to do it manually most of the time, because Jamarsa just has a really stupid AI, if you ask me. She keeps healing targets that aren't damaged at all at the beginning. And sometimes you just need to time their moves a little bit better. But all in all, this makes a 4-key rather attainable. Of course, you can have a little bit bad luck with the affinity. If I get a Force Affinity clan boss, then it's not that easy to get a 4-key at all. But as long as it's a neutral affinity like Void, or maybe even a Magic affinity, then it's a lot easier to get a good score. I've also done a bit of dungeon grinding. Not a lot yet, but a little bit. Mostly in Dragon. And we got to stage 11 here. I could try out stage 12, but stage 11 is a stable farm at the moment, so that's something I really like. Spider is still proving to be a little bit difficult, but we got to stage 8 already. And something I started with really early on is farming the potion keeps, and then mostly at first the spirit keep. Because something I ran into quite early on is that Deacon is of course an incredible champion, but he becomes a lot better when ascended to level 3. Because at first, when you look at his skills, this A3, time compression, does not grant an extra turn until you have ascended him to level 3. And I noticed immediately that this was decreasing his power by a lot. Also wanted to book him out as soon as possible, because having his A2 and A3 on a lower cooldown is absolutely essential. But I got very unlucky with the books. 6 books went into the A1, which is not a bad A1, but I actually wanted the A2 and A3 a lot more, and then I could start booking Jamarsa or maybe Suai Firstborn. But no, everything went into the A1 first, so after that I started booking the A2 and A3. Still want these 2 books as well, because decreasing the cooldown is absolutely incredibly powerful, and increasing the debuff chance to 100% is also very important. And something else that I found a very nice improvement over when I first started the game is having the forge available, because you get quite a lot of materials to start off with already, and then you can start forging perception pieces and resilience pieces. And these are incredible in the early game, because things like speed and accuracy are absolutely difficult to get. And also a little bit of HP and defense for a champion like your Reviver, for example, are very important. So I really like this feature for new players a lot, because it makes getting a little bit of good gear a lot easier. So I forged all my 4 to 5 and 5 to 6 star items immediately, but I'm not really keen on doing the same for 3 to 4 star items, because having 3 star items on my account is already useless at the moment. So you can better hang on to your materials to craft 4 to 5 or 5 to 6 star items. So in these first 2 weeks of play, I also got to Gold 1 in the arena, which is a huge difference compared to when I started out first. Because at that time it was really difficult to get to gold, but now it's been a very easy ride. But I have to say, the teams in Gold 1 are absolutely not farmable. When you progress from Silver 4 to Gold 1, you will see such a huge increase in team power that it's no longer possible to farm at an easy rate. You will just have to pick out the single champion defenses, and that's just a matter of luck if you get to see them every 15 minutes. But still a huge improvement over when I first started playing, absolutely. I was also very happy to be able to get the first fragments for Dragstar in, and the first fragments for Yannica, which you can get from the clan shop, of course, because these champions will have a huge impact on this account when I finally get them. But this is going to be months away, so it's absolutely something you have to do for the long run. Something I'm very happy with is that I was also able to max out the gem mine today, which has been my priority since buying the masteries for Elhain first. And this will give me a steady income of gems, which I can then use to get extra energy, which is something I'm absolutely lacking after 13 days of play. At the beginning, you will have more than enough energy to keep playing almost indefinitely, but after 13 days you kinda hit the wall where you don't have enough energy to spend anymore, and then you'll just have to wait. So it's starting to turn into a waiting game a lot more. And the final thing I got done today is kill the first Doom Tower normal boss, the Magma Dragon. To be honest, killing the dragon was a lot easier than killing the stages 7 and 9. And especially 9 has been a huge problem for me, because these Cupiduses, or should I say Cupidi, hit really hard. Even on a magic affinity champion like Elhain, they can take you down with ease. And the second wave actually contains 3 Cupidus. So that's really hard if you don't nuke them down as soon as possible. But I'm really happy I got that done, which also means that I can farm a little bit of materials for the forge from the Magma Dragon, which, like I said, is very helpful to get good gear early on. I also decided that in the first week I would pull all shards that I could gather, which were mostly ancients of course, but also a void and a sacred shard. Because if you pull an amazing champion that early, they can make an incredible impact on your account. But regrettably I have to say that after 25 to maybe even 30 ancient shards, I have not pulled an epic yet from those. It's been all rares, which was very disappointing. From the Void Shard, I got a Suai Firstborn, which was pretty good. I have to say she's quite useful for Clan Boss, because she has a decreased defense on the A1, a decreased attack on the A2, and also a weaken on the A3. So she's absolutely very nice for that. But from the Sacred, I pulled an Aina, which I have already used as food, because Aina is not that useful if you have a Suai. Let's take a look. On her A1, she has a small chance of getting an extra turn. Okay, that's alright. She has a chance of placing a weaken, which Suai Firstborn does as well. And she has a chance of placing a decreased defense debuff. So, in a nutshell, she's just a worse champion than Suai, who does the same things, only a little bit more, and she does it better. So no, I was not too happy with this pool at all. And if I had not pulled Suai, then Aina actually might have come in handy. But it seems to be a little bit of a recurring theme that I'm pulling champions that do similar things, because I also pulled a Tiger Soul relatively early on, which I thought was a pretty nice champion for Clan Boss as well. But after pulling Suai, she was immediately replaced because she also has a weaken, but it's the small version and Suai has the big version. And she has a poison on the A1, but I already have a Frozen Banshee now for that. And I've put Suai in a toxic set, which helps her with damage a little bit as well. So all in all, not have been too lucky on that department. But maybe this weekend, when the 2 times for Sacred arrives, I hope to have 2 Sacreds by then. And maybe we can pull an incredible Legendary then. But also a very good Epic would be great. And from the beginning, I've been focusing a lot on doing as many missions, quests, challenges, tournaments and events as I could to get extra resources, because these resources make it possible to keep progressing your account. And of course I also tried to 3-star the campaign, which I have done for normal, hard and brutal, and Nightmare campaign is just a step too far for now. For the Great Hall I took the decision to go for the accuracy tree, just because I really need a bit of accuracy on my champions to land their debuffs. And probably after maxing these out, I will be switching over to crit damage. But again, that is going to be months away, so it's just for the long run. So the final things I want to discuss is what I am going to do now with the account. What am I going to do in the coming days and weeks? And one of my highest priorities is getting a second champion to level 6. But I do have to say I'm not 100% sure yet who that's gonna be. I was thinking about Deacon from the start, but Deacon already does his job at level 50. Jamarsa is also doing her job at level 50, but champions like Rhonda and Frozen Banshee will benefit greatly from going to level 60. So I'm not quite sure yet. Maybe Frozen Banshee will be the first, because when I get her to 60 and she gets the Mastery War Master available, then I can keep her alive a lot easier, and keeping your Poisoner alive is of course very, very important, because the longer she lives, the more damage she will do with her poisons. Also, she's very easy to book out, and ascending her is also not that expensive as ascending an epic champion, for example, or even a legendary. But like I said, not sure yet. Maybe you guys can tell me in the comments who you think I should 6-star first, because I'm pretty sure that 6-starring a Deacon would never be a bad idea either. So just let me know in the comments below. A second priority for me will be building out my clan boss team the moment that I get something like an increased defense champion or an ally protector. Because without those, the longevity of the team will just not be enough to really get to high damage levels. So we have to have a little bit of luck pulling champions. And I also want to start farming dungeons a bit more. Mainly dragon and spider at first, because I really need some improvements when looking at the gear that I have equipped on my champions now. It would just really make a big difference in the power of my champions. And something that I want to try to do before the 2 times of Sacred ends is get the second Sacred shard from the missions. The only thing that seems to be a problem at this time is fusing Justiciar, because I've been grinding to get a Spirit Host and a War Maiden for quite some time already, and I still didn't get those champions, so that's a bit of a problem. But I'm just going to keep at it in the coming days and hope we actually get them to drop, because all these other missions are quite attainable for me at the moment. And looking at the longer term a little bit, I have planned to keep grinding for champions like Dragstar and Yannicka, but also trying to keep progressing in Doom Tower and Faction Wars. And I have to keep improving on the Great Hall as well. But the one goal that I have set that I absolutely find most important of all is just to have a lot of fun with this new account. Because at first when I started out, I really wanted to optimize everything and I was overthinking everything way too much, which took a lot of the fun out of it, to be honest. Because in the past on my main account, I rarely did anything spontaneous. I planned out a lot of my actions way in advance. Pulling shards on a whim was absolutely never an option. But this time I really want to do it a little bit differently. I want to have a lot of fun playing and maybe not calculate everything as carefully as I did in the past. So that was it for the first update on the free-to-play account. And I'm really curious if you guys are also participating in the challenge. So be sure to let us know in the comments below how you are progressing if you are also participating. And I hope you guys liked the video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and maybe subscribe to the channel for more Raid Shadow Legends videos. I wish you guys a very nice day and I hope to see you guys in the next one. Bye bye!